Hi, my name's Samuel Leeds, and in this video, I've got 8 ideas that maybe things that you've not thought of, maybe things that will surprise you, things that you probably should be considering if you're starting out as a property investor. Number 1 is to rent out part of your existing home. Now you might think, what are you, crazy? Why would I want to rent out part? But here's the thing, and this might not be for you, but if you've probably got space in your house to rent out a room or something in your house. And let me tell you why this is so powerful. Number 1, and please check this out with an accountant, I don't want to be sued or anything. I believe it is tax-free up to a certain amount. I think it's like £7,000 or £8,000. So you can, if you rent out a spare bedroom in your house, the money that you get is yours to keep. You can spend it, you don't have to pay tax on it up to a certain point, which is really cool. But I think the reason it's so powerful is we had a lady, we'll call her Sarah, because I don't know if she'd want to be made known. She came onto our crash course program, 2 days, and she just said, I just don't know, I'm a bit scared about property, I don't understand it, I've never done it. And I spoke to her, and what she decided to do was she lived in the centre of London, or near the centre of London, and she had a spare bedroom in her apartment, and she decided to rent out the room in her apartment, and she rented it out for £700 a month. And she said that that money from just that spare room that just had clutter and stuff in it, she said it was life-changing. You know, life-changing. Now, £700 might sound like a lot of money, it might not to you, but she said it was completely life-changing. And not only was that money life-changing, it made her life a lot easier, because now suddenly she wasn't going slightly further and further into debt each month, because she could pay her bills comfortably and relax and go out. And not only that, but also she said that she understood tenants and property investing more, because she suddenly moved someone in, signed a contract with them. It gave her real confidence, and she saw money from tenants. She then got the bug for it, and once she had the bug for making money from renting stuff out, she went on to get some rent-to-rent deals, and also she's now bought a place to rent it out because she saw the power of rental income. So I think that if you're starting out, renting out space in your house is a really, really good idea. Number 2 is consider moving area. Now, I'm not talking about you moving house. I mean, maybe you might want to do that, but I'm talking about, you've probably got a preconceived idea in your mind of where you should be investing. Now, you might be thinking that you have to invest in your hometown or where you live, but actually, you don't have to, because your hometown might be a rubbish investment area. As long as you have a management company in place where you buy, then it doesn't matter. So potentially just open your mind up to moving out into a different area where you're currently thinking. Now, I spoke to one guy, he lives in Belfast, and in his mind, he was thinking, I have to invest in the Midlands, middle of England. I have to invest in the middle of England. And he was thinking that because he knows that's where I'm from. And he just thought, oh, well, to be an investor, you have to invest where Samuel is based, which is complete nonsense. And actually, I spoke to him and I said, Belfast, there's a lot of opportunity there. So now he's moved to Belfast where he lives. So sometimes your own area can be a really goldmine area, but it's just under your nose and you don't see it. Just be open to moving area of where you're thinking to invest. Number 3 is to be creative with maximizing rent. So what I mean by that is, if you're starting out as a property investor, you might just be thinking in the mindset of, I buy a family home, I rent it out. You know, it can be much more lucrative and exciting than that. You can maximize the profits of the rent by doing things like renting it out on a room by room basis, which we call a multi-let or a HMO, or renting the property out as serviced accommodation. Be creative about how you can maximize the rent when you're looking to buy. Number 4, if you're starting out in property, I speak to a lot of people. In fact, there was one lady who I met, good friend of mine. She came along to the crash course and she said, Samuel, I'm skint. I've got no money. I'm really struggling to even afford to just pay the bills. I've got 4 kids and I can't invest in property. And I had a little conversation with her, and it turns out that she had almost paid off her mortgage. To me, if you've almost paid off your mortgage, you've got money. Now, in her mind, she's thinking, you know, all her life, she's been told by her parents she has to pay the mortgage off as quickly as possible. And she's still not even paid it off. But in my mind, I'm thinking, why don't you just refinance your house and pull out the money? She had £350,000 equity in a house. And she's saying, I'm struggling to live, I'm skint, I can't do property. After a little conversation, she realized, light bulb moment, that if she refinanced the money from her house and pulled the equity out and then reinvested that into properties, although she's, you know, obviously further off paying off her mortgage, she's suddenly got way more cash flow, monthly cash flow. And sometimes people feel like, I don't want to do that because then the money that I've pulled out of the house, I've then lost it. You haven't lost it. At any time, if you wanted to, you could sell off the investment properties and put it back into your own home. And in fact, by the time you'd done that and sold them, the house prices would have probably gone up, and then you'd pay your mortgage off and some. It just makes sense. So potentially you're sitting on a home where you've got equity in there, or you might have a family member who's got money. So just think, how can I raise finance to invest in property? Do you have assets? Do you have stocks, bonds, shares, dividends? Do you have a company that you could potentially sell? Or do you have things that you could sell? Could you downsize and sell the house? Could you refinance the house? Do you have partners or family members that have got money sitting in the bank that you can invest for them? So it's just thinking creatively about what you can do with your money. Now, of course, you're going to need to know how to invest that properly. So I'm not suggesting that you just go crazy and become a motivated idiot, because there's nothing more scary than a motivated idiot. But just think, have I got untapped money that I could invest? Number 5 is become a window shopper for property. Sometimes people get scared to book viewings and go out because they think, oh my gosh, the estate agent's going to pressure me into buying and I might not be ready to buy, and haven't. Just relax. Book some viewings, maybe in your hometown or in an area where you're thinking of investing in, and just go and view some houses and have some fun. See it as a day out. You know what? Make friends with the estate agents. Most estate agents, they're not like property experts. They're just young, fun, friendly people. I even used to be an estate agent. I don't know if that's a bad thing. Just go and view houses. And when you're doing that and you're looking at properties and you're talking to agents and you're beginning to understand the market, yes, the estate agents, they won't give you really good investment advice and they won't necessarily show you the best deals and things like that. But hey, it's free and it's fun, and you should be doing it 100% if you're starting out in property. Number 6 is, if you're starting out in property, maybe consider buying a deal from a deal sourcer. So someone who's packaged a deal up for you. If you're going to do this, I would say just because someone's packaged it and they're charging you for the deal does not necessarily mean that it is a wonderful deal. It's probably better than you could have found if you're just starting out and you don't know what's what. But make sure if you're doing that, number 1, the deal sourcer has a good track record. Number 2, the deal sourcer is compliant. And number 3, just go with your gut feeling a little bit. Not only the deal sourcer, but just generally what the kind of deal is, because ultimately if you're buying it, you're responsible. But I think it's definitely a smart decision for busy people that are in jobs, that don't understand the market that well, that don't really understand property, might not understand all the different areas. It makes sense to pay £2,000 or £3,000 to have somebody find a deal, negotiate the price down, package a team, get a power team around it. It just makes sense. Definitely something to consider if you're just starting out in property. Number 7 is go to property events. Go networking. Go and meet people that are doing it. The reason it's hard for people starting out is because no one that they know, none of their friends, are investing in property successfully. And if it's something that you don't know and you don't know people that know it either, then it's like almost foreign. Whereas if you go to property events, we run something called the Property Investors Circle. And there's PIN meetings and there's all different types of property meets that go on across the country. So I would just say get down and have fun and talk to people. The language of property investing will just begin to become something that's a little bit more known to you, which will mean that it's less daunting when you do buy your first investment property. And lastly, number 8 is I would strongly advise to get trained. I'm a property mentor. You can always reach out to me. I run something called the Property Investors Academy, which is a 12-month program, but just get knowledge. If you're starting out in property, the number 1 suggestion would be, before you invest in property, invest in yourself, because that's something that no one can ever take away from you, and you'll be able to use it again and again and again and again when growing your portfolio. So there are my 8 ideas for people just starting out in property. I hope that's been really helpful. If you found this video useful, please do drop it a like, maybe leave a nice comment below and share the video. I'd really, really appreciate that. And I hope to meet you in person real soon. God bless. See you next time. Thank you so much for watching. If you benefited from that video, please do share it with your family and friends. For more videos like it, you can watch right here. And if you'd like to spend 2 days with me at the Property Investors Crash Course, watch this video, see what happens. But whatever you do, don't forget to subscribe right here, and I'll see you next time.